Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Framing the Future of Eyewear through Frameboard Management, sponsored by my marketing team and Marchon Eyewear. During this time of COVID, Frameboard Management is critical to support you and your changing business needs. Today's webinar is brought to you by Premier Academy 360. Designed to attract and retain patients and increase revenues, Premier Academy 360 offers effective and actionable education that's credible, simple, and results-driven, and is provided to you at no charge. They have workshops, webinars, resource libraries, e-learnings. Visit learnacademy360.com to learn more. Disclaimer, this is not professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. Consult with professional association guidelines, state labor resources, financial advisors, and/or an attorney for advice. For anyone new with us today, I'd like to quickly share who and what my marketing team are. We are a benefit for VSP Global Premier Program Practices and provide you a dedicated team of marketing professionals. We are here to help you reach, connect, and engage with current and potential patients. We craft monthly newsletters with marketing materials, promotions, and tips to keep you updated with social media trends. We share content, tips, and tools to help you and your practice save time. We create fresh and engaging marketing materials to share with your patients, and we offer monthly educational marketing webinars, much like today. During this time, we've pivoted our regular efforts to provide support during the COVID-19 crisis. I'm so pleased to introduce our subject matter experts today, Sue Ohneck and David Andrews. Take it away, David.
Thank you, Jen. My name is David Andrews, and my role at VSP is a Business Development Specialist for Altair Eyewear. This presentation is a collaboration between many industry subject matter experts, including myself at Altair and Sue at Marchon. Together, Sue and I have over 39 years of experience delivering business solutions and training to the optometric industry. We're passionate about supporting private practice and hope our experiences helping others translates into real, tangible results for you too. Let's jump right in. Something many business owners are focused on right now is creating a safe and elevated shopping experience, and we know this is especially important now with COVID-19. Today, I'm going to share some best practices about frameboard management to help your brands and boards pop and ultimately lead to a greater patient experience. Prior to COVID-19, a typical optical practice would engage with over 15 different vendors and coordinate schedules for 25 rep visits. When we add it all up, on average, buyers are spending over 20 hours a month with sales reps. The question is this the best use of one's resources? Does your practice have multiple buyers in each meeting? Does it make sense to have your staff work with vendors, and is that the best use of their time? So let's take a look at an alternative. What if staff use that time to recall patients and book more appointments, and what's the impact to the top line? In this first example, this office repurposed 20 hours and focused on patient recalls, and with a 5 to 7% success rate on those calls, they added 180 additional appointments, and that generates an additional $45,000 in incremental revenue. Well, what if staff focused on marketing efforts? In this second example, with more time in your day, get social. You can run a contest. You can create a fun contest that your followers can participate in through your social media channels. And this could be anything from sharing funny photos of their favorite frames to simply using a hashtag you create for a chance to win a gift card towards frames. Who doesn't love that? How about hosting an Instagram Live happy hour? Ideas for your video can include an interview or Q&A with your favorite OD, some fun trivia, maybe some frames to try on, or raffling off prizes for your viewers. You can find more information on how to host engaging Instagram live session in the VSP Provider Hub. Or a staff spotlight. Maybe highlight different members of your staff each week and ask them to share fun facts or stories about themselves. Creating a content calendar. To save even more time, strategize a social media content calendar to help you plan out posts for the week. Establishing a different topic for each day of the week will help you schedule your content each week and keep your messaging consistent. My marketing team has social media calendar templates available for you on the resource kit. You can even promote a special. If you're holding any sales on frames, consider highlighting the promotion details on your social media and having staff members model the styles. Have fun with it, guys. The story here is non-value time lost versus time spent on enhancing the practice revenue. Think about if that time was available for something else, what could it be in your practice? In other words, what would you find beneficial for your staff to spend time on? Time could also be focused on activities that improve the patient experience. For example, patient care and prioritizing the time with patients to uncover their needs, offering multiple pair sales and romancing higher-end collections, all of which create a better patient experience. How much time does your staff dedicate to a personalized phone call to reach out to a patient and just say thank you? What training opportunities are available, and when did your staff refresh the merchandising in your practice? I mentioned it before, but patient experience, we know it's crucial to the success of a practice. So the following are some questions you can ponder and some examples of questions our team asks every day. And think about your office. I've got 3 questions bolded here that our teams talk about every day with offices and practices in the field. First one here is the buyer purchasing based on personal preference, or are the decisions based on emotions or analytics? How about, does the buyer know how many pieces are on the board, including understock, and what's stored in cabinets? And I'll tell you, it's not uncommon to see $20,000 just sitting in a drawer. Is the buyer purchasing in large dollar increments versus when the frame sale occurs? And I'll share a few examples that may sound familiar. In a typical sales call, a frame buyer passes over a frame that performed exceptionally well, not only for this account, but also in the whole area. When asked by the vendor rep why they don't want to replace the frame, the buyer replies, you know what? I'm tired of selling that one. In reality, the question back should be, is the public ready to stop buying that frame? Another example, a new frame buyer, they're given the opportunity to take control of the office inventory. They see the office has become low on frames, and they give a large order to the next frame rep that comes in the door. This particular frame line in vendor, it's never really been represented in the office very well before. And when asked, hey, why did you buy that line instead of the product that's been selling so well? The buyer replied, well, the rep was nice and always brings our staff gifts when they come into the office. So that brings us to inventory management. And why is inventory management so important for a practice? And this begins with a strong understanding of how important your optical and frame sales are to the success of your practice. Now, approximately 65% of total revenue for a practice comes from prescription eyewear, and more specifically, 29% of that comes from frames. Together, the framing lenses account for over half of a typical independent practice's total revenue, while comprehensive eye exams generate about 23%. And this pie chart clearly illustrates how important the optical is to a practice's financial health and what a large impact it can have both positively or negatively. When lens products and frame inventory is strategic, the optical is a profit center. On the contrary, when there's no form of inventory management in place, some of the important choices required for success are not made consciously. Many independent practices make the common mistake of backing into purchasing decisions because they're preoccupied with the day-to-day rush of their business. When this happens, it's like losing the reins on a horse. You do get somewhere, but it's not necessarily where you want it to go or the best way to get there. So the question becomes, is there a hole in your bucket? Technical and medical expertise, it doesn't count when it comes to managing the frames portion of the product mix. Independent practice eye doctors conduct 69% of the eye exams in the industry, but only sell 45% of the RX glasses. With a capture rate of just 66%, do you know what your capture rate is by brand and by collection? Because in the industry, 33% is going to retail big box online, mainly because of inadequate merchandising of frames. It could be a mishmash of frames, they're not categorized, or indifferently displayed or unattractive setting. So frames represent the largest inventory investment in a practice. A $600,000 grossing practice will have somewhere between $35,000 to $40,000 in frame inventory. And how hard is that investment working for you? When you sell frames off of your board, measuring the turn rate by brand or collection becomes invalid. You may know what your entire inventory turn is. For example, you display 1,000 frames, you sell 2,000, you know your inventory is a 2 times turn. That doesn't help you build the correct inventory your market needs. So more satisfied patients. One reason patients choose to take their prescription elsewhere to be filled is they perceive a practice does not specialize in dispensing eyeglasses and has a limited selection of frames. This message, it's unintentionally conveyed when the amount of space devoted to the optical or the product selection is small. It's easy for ECPs to overlook the fact that down the street, the practice There's an optical superstore. They devote maybe 3,000 square foot to a sophisticated display of eyeglasses with brand imaging. Most patients, they browse these superstores and they know about the range of choice available. So when patients unconsciously compare the small space or lack of focus of collections in a practice devoted to the optical, they'll compare that with what they've seen in the superstores, and they're tempted to delay the purchase and shop around. So think about how patients or consumers purchase in department stores. They want multiple sizes and colors of the same style, and they want to look at bestsellers of each brand. They don't want to rifle through what hasn't sold. They already do that at TJ Maxx. Another question to ponder is, are you a Nordstrom or a TJ Maxx? A strategic inventory can be used to attract and satisfy different kinds of patients. For instance, a wider choice of branded frames can help to satisfy patients who are willing to pay for quality. So times have changed, and so have our patients' behaviors. Many customers are preparing for their visit by going online and exploring your webpage. You can create a lifestyle questionnaire that can help you uncover your patient needs. And as they explore your website, this could provide a safe, hands-free initial shopping experience. Other great practices we'd love to pass on to you are, first, use signage to ensure peace of mind. Patients want to feel safe when entering your practice, and take steps to communicate the cleanliness of your frame boards. Ensure patients that the lab receives a new frame rather than one that's been on the boards, and that's when we use frame board management. Keep it simple. Don't over-clutter the frame board. Establish a planogram by brand positioning and make sure all your images are current, and this will also help with social distancing guidelines. Think about having a flow. Create shopping zones organized by brand, shape, or color to help a patient pick out a frame faster. And don't forget, material and price point matter too. So there are many benefits to a robust and profitable inventory management program, and I'll talk about a few. First, stabilizing cash flow. Whether your system is computerized or controlled manually, one of the benefits of a consistent reorder system is you're able to maintain a consistent inventory. The amount of frames you carry and the amount of dollars invested in the inventory only fluctuate slightly. Your monthly frame bills are determined by the previous month's sales, and if you only reorder what you sold, a high frame bill will become only month to month of high sales volume. Likewise, if your sales are slow, your bills will be low. Your top selling frames, those which generate the most sales, will always be in stock, and you can accurately evaluate those that are selling and those that have not. You can design your purchasing according to these figures, and you'll save a tremendous amount of time both in purchasing the frames and in pricing and tagging the incoming product. So this is accomplished by balancing frames bought with frames sold on a monthly basis. In addition, this can also help you catch those 2% quick pay discounts and avoid on-again, off-again buying holds that disrupt your regular sales selection and process. How about measuring return on investment for higher profits? Well, an inventory management system ensures that you have the right product mix for your patients, allows you to track your inventory turns, and saves you valuable time and helps you increase your profits. By knowing your market trends and which product has a higher turn, you can price product based on the market demand. It can also help you raise your average price of frames sold, again, increasing profits. In addition, this can also help you catch those 2% quick pay discounts and avoid, again, those on-again, off-again purchases. How about increasing sales? By matching your product with your patients more precisely, fewer patients leave your office with their prescription in hand, so you're going to increase your sales. And then lastly, lower returns and lower return rate. Well, returns, they're not free. We, meaning vendors, created somewhat of a monster by saying, you know what, just try it out. If you can't sell it, we'll go ahead and take it back. And we removed the responsibility for efficient purchasing. And at first, it may appear that returns are free, but there's a high cost to the practice, the vendor, and the industry with this inefficiency. And we interviewed a few opticians to calculate time and cost of returns. For practices, assuming you have 1 to 5 frames in the return, it's going to cost in the range of $7 to $12 per frame for that return. And I'll tell you, you'd be horrified if you could see what a frame company's return department looks like. Not to mention, return rates are so high, the processing time can be extended. So let's look at some additional benefits of frame board management. With inventory management, a practice can leverage VSP Global. Does your frame mix match your Find a Doctor directory? There are some new programs that are being developed and created to help you market your practice if your analytics are accurate. Analytics, they're not accurate if you sell off the board. Are your buyers buying from that emotional perspective instead of the analytics? And that can lead to the patient being underserved as you don't have an understanding of what the market is asking for. So some questions to think about as well are, do you have the right assortment for your demographics and for your price points? How about maximizing inventory turns? You can get that higher turn rate with bestsellers on the board, and you have a full understanding of turns down to the collection level. Also promoting operational efficiencies. Staff, we all make mistakes, right? Maybe we're able to save the time of not having to retag the frames. Also, with inventory management, staff, they're not always putting frames in and out of the computer systems. These efficiencies alone take more time than going to my Marchon or AltairEyewear.com and placing an order. So the elements of frame board management. First, the assortment of frames. With frame board management, every frame has a purpose, and the assortment is curated based on customer needs and performance. Each top-selling frame that generates the most sales will stay on the board. Colors, eye sizes, and shapes are analyzed to match inventory to demand. From a product planning perspective, the fill rates are going to be higher and back orders are lower. Ultimately, we can all reduce costs and create a better patient experience by having a more efficient supply chain. So let's take a look at an example for an office considering a frame purchase. In this example, we look at practices who need to add frames to their offices. The example on the very left is Altair board management. In Altair, we can provide easily 200 bestsellers, pops of colors, and fashion pieces with no upfront cost. The example in the middle is Marchon. Through Kaleidoscope, Marchon provides operational efficiencies, balanced cash flow, and profitability. With opening orders, we've got some options for high margin introductory offers. And that leads us with the example on the right, and this is partnering with other vendors. How many vendors would your staff need to meet to fill up 200 board spaces? In this example, takes 2 visits at an average cost of $60 per frame. That office is going to receive an invoice of $12,000 before they sell a single one of those frames. So they're thinking about how quickly can I make my money back, right? When can I get to profitability? So we feel the question isn't which brands are your buyers most excited about? Instead, it's what is the data telling us? How can we help you make decisions based on empirical facts? And the answer is analytics. So what and why? First, analytics is the use of data to gain insights and act on complex issues. Now, our proprietary data modeling starts with collecting data and trends from outside sources. Then we compare our own data and trends. We'll take those insights and make recommendations on activities that should remain constant, and maybe some other areas where we need to make some shifts. So why are the analytics important? When there are more variables, it's harder to find those insights. We all benefit from a data-driven approach that helps in understanding trends to optimize your practice's performance. So Marchon and Altair are both designed their inventory management programs to allow for the practice to participate in the frame selection process. Let's talk about Marchon first. Marchon's Kaleidoscope program was designed to be inclusive between Marchon analytics and the buyer's input if desired. Account registers for Kaleidoscope and places all their patient orders on the business-to-business portal. There's no need to change your current frame mix. The codes in the program will let you know when to keep the frame on your board or replace it based on sales, product availability, and the life cycle of that style. Take a minute to read additional details on the slide, and we'll provide a contact number at the end of the presentation for you to obtain additional information. Altair board management, we begin with a review of your VSP practice report to identify your core patient base and where there could be opportunities for growth. We take those insights to create an assortment of proven best-selling styles, and then we want to help keep that inventory fresh with quarterly inventory reviews, all with the opportunity to provide that product at no upfront cost. So reach out to your Marchon and Altair representative to find out more information on how each program works. Now, some results. Since launching Kaleidoscope, close to 2,000 accounts participating as of the end of the third quarter of 2020. Prescription sales are up 35% compared to the same period in the prior year. And here are a few quotes from practices using Kaleidoscope. The Kaleidoscope program, it's had a huge impact on our business, from creating a better patient experience to increased productivity from the staff. All around, it's been a great success. How about simple, easy, quick, and profitable, right? 4 things I think we all are looking for in our business. So in summary, what we found for offices looking at technology and process for automatic replenishment, moving to Kaleidoscope, the return on investment increased by 20%. And these accounts, they were able to use measurable data and increased operational efficiencies and enhance the patient experience. All right, so I'll leave us with this image, which shows the depth and breadth of the Marchon and Altair brand portfolios. These collections, they're designed with purpose, from aspirational fashion brands like Ferragamo, Longchamp, and Diane von Furstenberg, to lifestyle brands like Calvin Klein, Lacoste, BB, and Draper James. Performance brands like Nike, Dragon, and Spider. We're focused on providing a frame for every patient and helping you cover key demand segments from fully covered to the premium end of the market. So we're here for you. Give us a call. We have the phone number listed on the screen here, Monday through Friday, and we're happy to start a conversation with you and get in touch with the right folks to help drive some tangible results for you and your practice. Jen, back to you.
We appreciate your time today. We hope you've learned more about marketing during COVID-19 that you can easily share with your patients in the office or through social media. Some quick housekeeping before we say goodbye. Visit our website to find the My Marketing Team COVID-19 Resource Kit. Stay in the know by following our VSP Providers Facebook page and Twitter account. Want more education and training? Check out what Academy 360 has to offer at learnacademy360.com. And lastly, if you're looking for a great social media resource, visit our website to request a Hootsuite account. Thank you again so much for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.